this pleasant time of the evening. I step away from all the activities of life. Closing my awareness and my thoughts to work towards people, towards situations, towards to-do list. And I step in and I step into myself. I slow down from the hustle and bustle of life. Nothing to think about. I calm down and focus my thoughts towards the self and God. As I slow down these physical senses, I ask myself, who am I? Who am I? What is my true identity? Very silently, I experience myself beyond this physical body. I am a soul. I am light. I am a being of peace. An immortal image. I direct my thoughts towards God, the parent of the soul, who is my everything. Who is always there for me. Go beyond, completely go beyond from all the noises of life, from all the distractions of life. I, the soul, I take my consciousness upwards to the divine source. I take my consciousness upwards to the divine source. God, the supreme light, in the home of light. Do not allow your mind to get distracted. Connect to God. Connect to the source. Connect to the supreme light. Visualize a vast world of light. And a beautiful supreme light. I go closer and closer to the supreme light, who is the ocean of peace. Ocean of peace. Surrender yourself to the ocean of peace. Surrender. And don't think about anything else. Just surrender your mind and intellect to the divine source, God, to the ocean of peace. I am experiencing the divine rays of peace, the divine light of peace, the divine light of love, the divine light of purity. Just absorb all that light into you. Take all the light. Experience the transformation. What are you experiencing? Being with the divine light. There is a deep inner transformation. Light, love, peace. Having this beautiful experience with the divine source. I, the soul, gently come back. Bring my consciousness back to this physical world. But yet my heart is still connected to God, the divine source. feeling like a completely different soul. Om Shanti. This topic is a very interesting topic. Did you find it interesting when you saw the topic today? Do you know the topic?
I want from God. I want peace.
You want peace?
Yeah.
Acha. Yeah. Dear God, it's not that what do I want from God? It is what does God want from me?
Oh, right.
You know, you see immediately the moment, the way we read or the way we understand is that, what is that God you're going to give me? Always. What is that I want from God? That's how we think about God. He's like a machinery there, giving us, filling us, whatever we want. But if you have read the topic properly, it is not what I want from God, it is what God wants from me. What do you think God wants from you? Did you ever ask this question to God? God, what do you want from me? Did you ever ask him? No, that's so true. We don't ask God, right? Yeah. We don't ask God, God, what do you want from me? But we always go to him and say, what will you give to me? I want this, I want this. But did we ever ask God, what do you want from me? So just think about it. We're ready to just take from him. Give me, give me, give me more, give me more. In the morning, we'll ask something and then he fulfills by afternoon. Again, evening, we'll ask something else. Right? We always want. But in silence, did we ever ask God, what do you want from me? You know? Because God is not just a commodity who is there to fulfill our desires. But God is someone who is very, very close to us. Once we did an activity, right? Who is close to you? Right? Put all the closest one in the first circle. Okay, you put all the closest one. Okay, your friends and people, okay, in the outer circle. And then make another outer circle. And people who are, you remember them sometimes. Okay, even. So then I asked, okay, share, who is in your list? Who is the closest? Okay, this one, this one, this one. Who is a little, who are your friends and relatives? Okay, this one, this one, this one. Okay, who are those people you remember sometimes? This one, this one, this one. Okay, then I asked, do you think you are missing someone in the list? And the person said, oh, yes, actually, I'm missing my dog. Okay, put your dog too. But still think about who is missing in the list. But she couldn't think. God is missing in that list. Because we all go and sing, we sing. You are the mother, you are the father, you are everything. God protect me, God give me this, God give me that. Then when we ask him for so much, how come we are not including him, someone who is close to us, right? If someone gives us something, when we receive some attainment from someone, we put them very close to our heart, or we keep them very close to us, right? We put them in our list of people that we always remember. We never forget when we receive something from someone. But God is the one who is always giving us something or the other. How come he's not in the list of someone who is very, very close to me? So today, really, we don't understand. We really don't understand our relationship or our connection with God. We only think he's there to fulfill my desires. That's it. But sometimes the more you connect to God, the more you get close to him, the more you feel there is a lot more to understand about God. There's a lot more to know about God. He is the most beautiful soul that I can spend time, that I can receive everything. But at the same time, I also have something towards God, meaning it's a relationship, right? Is it a relationship with God, or God is just your boss and you're like the subordinate? Or is there a relationship with God? There is a relationship. Or don't you feel that relationship? There is a relationship, right?
No, it is definitely a relationship, because we tell him, no, he's our mother and father.
Yeah.
So as a mother and father, it is, it's the closest relationship you could have with a child.
Absolutely. Yes, so I am a child and he's my mother and father. Absolutely right. But then in a relationship, both parties will have, some sort of responsibility towards relationship. Here, we want always God to fulfill his responsibility. You said you will protect me. You said you will give me this. But what about me? What am I doing for God? What is that I am, giving him? How is that I am maintaining my relationship or fulfilling my relationship towards God? And so this is where the question comes, God, what is that, you want from me? Right? Because relationship means it's both ways. So many times we forget what is from my end, but we are always in the receiving mode. I want. So sometimes also I should be in the giving mode to God. Right. So think, when you ask yourself this question, what do God want from me? What comes to your mind? What do you think God wants from you?
To be remembered.
To remember him. Like you said, his parent, his mother and father, I'm the child. So as parents, as a child, I have certain responsibilities towards parents too, right? So in the same way as a child, so when you ask, or what comes to your mind, what do you think God wants from you?
We should be good human beings.
To be good human beings, okay.
Help the humanity.
Help the humanity. That's what he wants. Okay. What else?
One more.
There are so many. Let others also share. Or you can also share, of course.
Make good causes. Good actions.
Make good actions, perform good actions. Okay, good.
To imitate him,
Imitate him.
yeah, in his
Mm.
virtues that he has teaching us always.
Very good. Very nice. Yeah.
What she said.
Imitate him.
Imitate him.
To
be like him.
imitate God. Be like God. Imitate. To be myself. So what is yourself? So somebody is saying to be myself. So what is that being yourself? So if you see, if you're, being myself means, what is that being yourself?
An action.
What is that you think whenever you think, okay, if you ask God, what do you want from me, God, what comes to your mind?
Peace.
No, God wants peace from you.
Yeah.
Okay, to be peaceful, say like that, right?
Yeah.
To be peaceful, yes, good.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Give unconditional love.
give unconditional love. Okay. So now think about this. Okay, you all said beautiful things, to be peaceful, to perform right actions, to, you said to imitate God and to give unconditional love. But what if where I don't, I want to do these things and I'm unable to do? I want to give unconditional love, but I'm unable to. I want to always perform good actions. I'm unable to. I want to always be peaceful, but I'm unable to. So then what? You know actually what God wants from all of us?
Be happy.
Hmm?
Be happy.
But I'm not happy, then what will God do?
To connect with him.
Remember
To
him.
connect to him, to remember him, that's right. So in that connection and remembrance, actually God wants our impurities. God wants our rubbish. Can we have rubbish inside us and think of doing good actions? Can we have rubbish inside us and, can we give unconditional love or be peaceful? So first thing God wants from us, God doesn't want your wealth. God doesn't want your clothes or your anything. God wants the rubbish we all have in us. And what is that rubbish we all have? All the impurities, impure thoughts, the lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego. This is what God wants from us. Are you ready to give? And even this you don't want to give. No, God, it's very difficult. Let me keep a little rubbish for myself. Are you ready to give this rubbish? God doesn't want anything else. We think God wants coconuts. Let me go and give. Okay, God, if you do this, I'll give you a few coconuts, or I'll put in your box. I'll come to your pilgrimage place. I'll go around your temple 10 times. I'll give food to hungry people. We think this is what God wants from us. This is still secondary. Right? First thing God wants from all of us is our rubbish. And don't you think so? That is called a parenthood, right? When a child is dirty, what the parents do immediately? If the child gets into mud and gets dirty, the parent won't just let the child be like that, no? First thing, the parent will clean the child. That's what God wants from all of us. to give away all the rubbish and impurities that we are holding. And because of this rubbish and impurities that we are keeping inside, you know, we are unable to do all the wonderful things that we've been mentioning. It's becoming a disturbance in our being a good human being. So that's what he wants. So are we ready to give, or we want to keep some rubbish with ourselves? Huh? No, a little bit of anger we should have. How can we give all our anger to God? No. Huh? No, a little bit greedy you should be. We live in the world. We need to earn. We need more money. Or we need to be greedy about this and that. Or am I ready to give my greed to God? No, you have to act a little bit of ego. I have so much with me. Why not? I have to act egoistically. I need to have some ego with me. Otherwise, people will take advantage of me. That's what we think. So think about it. This is what God wants from us. And am I ready to give completely all the rubbish? Right? Like we all have, the city comes and picks up the rubbish. What do? On that particular day, we put all our rubbish out, right? Nobody likes to keep rubbish at home or in the surroundings. But what about in the soul? We're having a lot of rubbish in the soul. Yeah, that's right. Let go and let God. So in remembrance, in his remembrance, I gave all this rubbish. And he's ready to give what? Okay, I give rubbish to him. What is he's ready to give what? If I give rubbish to God, what is God ready to give me?
Peace.
Peace.
Happiness.
When I give anger, he gives me peace. When I give my sadness and sorrow to God, he fills me with happiness. Right? And when I give my greed to God, he will fill me with abundance. I don't have to ask him. I don't have to beg. God, give me, give me, give me. Right? So God doesn't want devotees. God wants us to be children. A devotee closes eyes and sings song. And devotees' hands are like this, always give. Always give. You give me because you are there to give. But a child, understand this, right? A devotee is always asking. But a child will always fulfill the responsibility of being a child. Right? Because a child will anyway get the inheritance from the father, right? A child anyway has the right to get it from the father. But then a devotee won't. A devotee, that's why, is asking and begging. So am I a child or a devotee? Ask myself. Are you a child or are you a devotee to God? Huh? When you think I am a child, I will definitely get it. Because you naturally have the right to get the property, father's inheritance. So how am I acting? You know, how is my connection with God as a devotee or a child? So that's what I have to think. And that's what I have to be. And so how is that when I said, you have to give God everything, what you have to give your rubbish to God. So what do? You go in front of God, God, take my rubbish.
Be God's brother? No.
How do I connect to God? That's the thing.
Be his only child?
Hmm?
Can I be God's brother or only child?
Only child. Every child can think I'm the only child of God, for sure. Right? I'm the only child of God, of course. Everyone can think. I don't have to think, oh, this one also will get inheritance. That one also will get inheritance. What about me? And that's what happens in worldly life, right? That, you know, if a father has like 5 sons, then everyone is thinking, who is going to get the property? Or, you know, everyone is thinking about, I need to get the property. But here, I don't have to beg. I don't have to demand from God. I will just naturally get it because I am the child. And he's there to give everyone without asking. Because you don't go to an ocean and ask, give me some water. Ocean is just there, unlimited. In the same way, I connect to the divine source. I connect to God and just receive. But I can only receive when I give what I have. I need to give my rubbish to God so that I can fill what he's giving. If I'm having full rubbish here, how can he give? Even if he's giving, it's all getting evaporated. Say if you're cooking and your pan is very hot and you sprinkle a little water, what happens? What happens to the water when you sprinkle on a hot pan? It evaporates.
Evaporate.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the same way, if I have a lot of anger inside me, if I have this algae inside me, even if God is filling me, I cannot understand. I cannot fill myself. It's evaporating or it's just flowing somewhere else. If I'm having this, you know, as they say, if there is even one rotten fruit, what does it do to all the other fruits? No, it doesn't stay. So it's very, very important from my end to give this rubbish to God. I have to empty this rubbish. I can't keep. Even if I keep a little, then I cannot receive what he's giving. Right? Because as they say, if there is nectar, and even if you put one drop of poison into the nectar, what happens? It becomes poison. In the same way, the soul is filled with so much of impurity. So if I'm not giving away this impurity, then I cannot fill from God. Even if I'm filling, it's leaking somewhere. It's going away. So is your intellect a pot without hole or with hole? It's like you come to the meditation center, you meditate, God, I have filled myself. And then the next moment, it all leaked out because I had waste thoughts, or if maybe I'm, you know, I said something to someone, or I'm doing something which is not right, or I'm egoistic about something, you know, some impurity. Wherever there is impurity, there purity cannot stay. So how do I give this rubbish to God, and how do I receive what he has? I can't go in front of God and, you know, talk. God meets in silence. He meets us in silence. But what do? We go with a big list of things to God. Right? God, this happened, that happened, fix this, fix that. You're not doing anything. You need to do this for me. Or this is not happening. I still, you know, want this from you. Okay? So 2 things when we go to God, we have 2 things. That is desires and complaints.
Say it again.
Desires
Desires.
or complaints, and complaints. or end complaints. Right? Either we are asking him to fulfill us, or either we are complaining what's not going right. But did you ever try going to that divine source and just being silent? Because God communicates in silence. If I talk too much, even God will have earplugs.
I do it when I
Just
come here.
kidding. Not earplugs. But it doesn't work that way.
I do it when I come here.
Yes, that's good. Silence. Not in noise. In noise, you're only connected to everything of this world. And that's when you ask for desires and you have wants and this is not going right, that is not going right. All of this you're saying to God. It's okay. Yeah, sometimes you share your heart. But not all the time desires and complaints, because God knows your heart. God knows you better than anyone in this world. We think these are our people, these are my children, my this one, my that one. But none of them know exactly who you are and what is your heart like. Only God knows your heart. Only God knows you very well. And that's why he becomes someone who is very, very close to my heart. You know? Among all the relationships or anyone in the world, he comes first. So this communication, this link with God is in silence. You have to sit quietly, and that's why it is said he's just one thought away from me. God is just one thought away. Because he catches my thoughts. Who is God? Ocean of peace. Where does he reside? In the abode of peace. And so how do you think he will communicate? Peacefully. Right? In peace. He catches my thoughts. He knows what I want. And he's there to take all my rubbish and my burdens as well. Do you like to hold your burden, or do you like to give, if somebody is there to hold my burdens? Or do you like to hold your sack and move forward? Oh, burden. So God is saying, give me your burden. I'm here to take it. Are you ready to give your burden? Do you want to give your burden? Or no? No, I will hold my burden on my head. And then all the time keep crying and complaining and tired and what to do. This is not happening. That is not happening. Oh, you sister, you don't know anything. How many problems I have. How much I have to deal in life. Huh? I do this, I do that. I have this burden. This is all. We keep saying, God, what do you know? You're sitting up there. Look how much of burden I have. And he's saying, Arey, my child, give me your burden. No, I'm there to hold your burden. But we'll say, no, 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 I'll put it on my head and keep crying. So we are used to these things so much. It has become like our deep sanskar, like our deep habit of keeping this rubbish, these burdens, and keep same thing asking God, give, give, give. But what is from my end? Why is that God is giving me and I'm still not getting? Why is that I'm still not feeling peaceful in life? Why is that there's still not happiness? Why is that I'm still getting disturbed by things? Why is that I still feel worry? When a child is with the parent, how the child feels? Carefree, no? Will the child worry? No. I see many times we just have 2 blocks away from here, a kindergarten school. Like all the kids, walk from the, from close to the center. And sometimes when you see like the kids, when they're walking, when they're going back home from, they are just light and easy and, happy and, all the burden is with the parents, no? Their parents are holding their bags and all. But the child is just happy and telling all the stories, what's happening at the school. Mama, this happened. Papa, this happened. They're telling all the stories and they're just carefree. So that's the feeling when I'm with my father, my parent. Right? Who is God? God is our Father who is there to take all my burdens. Even before Father, he plays the role of mother. Now, some say why God is called him, why not her? Call him, call him her, doesn't matter. He doesn't have a bodily form like us. He's a being of light. But the first relationship that we have with God is mother and a child. Because he's our creator, right? A mother gives birth. So God is our mother who is there to nurture us. Mother always wants to keep the child clean, feed the child, make sure the child is getting all the good health. Right? Mother is feeding the child. So God is our mother who is taking care of us at every moment. And then he's father. What does a father do? Earns for the child, make sure the child gets good clothing, education, all of that, no? He's sustaining the child in a different way. In the same way, God is sustaining us as our father. And so as he being our father, we have all the inheritance of the father. He's ocean of peace, and I can become, as you said, imitate. Just fill in, all that peace is mine. I don't have to ask God, God, I want peace. That statement is wrong. I want happiness, I want peace. No, he says, I'm here, take it. And your nature is peace. Your nature is happiness. Your nature is love. When we connect to God, that spark emerges in the soul. It's like when I touch God, when I experience God, that connection allows that spark, that sanskars of what God has also emerges in me. The memory comes back in the soul. So as Father, I don't have to ask. I just connect in silence and no thought, no asking this and that, just connect and experience that peace, experience that love, experience that happiness. He's just there to bestow. God is my teacher. He teaches me. He teaches me as a teacher, teaches what is right, what is wrong. Child, don't do this, do this. Right? How important is education in life? How important is knowledge in life? Very important. If a child says, I won't go to school, I'll sit. I won't study anything. Will you allow that child to be at home? No. You will send go because teacher is important in life. A teacher gives education. A teacher opens the intellect. A teacher makes the intellect sharp. Like that, God is always teaching us the right things. He's giving us the knowledge. And if we don't listen, what happens? If the student doesn't listen to teacher, what happens to the student? the student is not getting any attainment. What happens to that student later? If he doesn't have good education, then he's not settled well. Right? In the same way, God is our teacher. He's teaching. It's not just God, give me, but I need to learn also from God. And I need to do my homework as well. If I don't do it, that's why they say that your education, it's also like your knowledge is like income. Before even you earn physically money, knowledge is already your wealth. Having knowledge in life is so important because knowledge makes me sensible. God makes me sensible. God doesn't keep me like foolish person, or God doesn't always want me to. Every parent wants their child to grow in life. Every parent wants their child to be on their feet and solve their own problems. Right? In the same way, every parent wants his child or a teacher to become eligible. The students have to become worthy. In the same way, God is making us worthy, sensible, perfect, complete. He plays the role of a guru as well in our lives. Everyone runs to a physical guru. But guru is just one. God is the guru. Meaning a guide. Guru means guide. One who is always guiding us. Guiding us to our destination. Sometimes we need that guidance, no? He's guiding us, this is the way to go. In the olden days, people after 60 years, they wind up their business and then they used to go to pilgrimage places and spend their time in charitable actions, in remembrance of God, in performing good karma. Why? Because if they leave the body and go, so that they can take good actions to their further life. But today in the world, many are still engaged in so much of this rubbish and not letting go of that rubbish. Is there anyone that you know in your close ones or friends and family who will say, give your rubbish, I'll keep it with me? Anybody in the world who is there to take your rubbish? No. They'll say, if we do any rubbish, they'll say, don't do this rubbish. Don't, right? Don't give me this rubbish. Right? Stop this rubbish. That's what they say, right? But God is the one who is saying, give me your rubbish. Right? I will take your rubbish. So are we ready to give or not? Another beautiful relationship also that we have with God is one of the closest relationships that we all we experience or we feel is companionship. Right? Having a partner or a companionship, or God, having that sort of closest relationship, a friend. God is also a friend or a companion. I can totally depend on that companion, and that companion never cheats me. Right? So even he is our friend. Khuda dost, they say, right? Khuda dost. How much, people experience God being the friend and companion. Do you experience God as your friend and companion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best.
The best friend, that's right. He's the closest best friend who knows your heart very well.
Because with friends, you can relate very well.
Yeah, you can relate, you can share.
Yes.
Right? You can share your heart with your friend.
Right.
Look for that friend
That's
first.
all I talk to.
Last,
That's right.
and nothing
That's how I talk to God.
Yeah,
I really say, you're my friend.
right, right.
And it's
Oh,
easy to talk, easy to say whatever you want to say. As a
right.
father, sometimes I have to be very careful what I have to say. Sometimes it is true. With friends, it just comes out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, with parents, you have to be a little careful sometimes. You know, I mean, careful in the sense you hesitate. Should I tell this? Or with friends, you always look forward. That friendship is so beautiful. So God is my best friend, right? Who knows my heart and to whom I can pour out my heart. And as a friend, he's so ready to take all my rubbish again, you know, all my impurities. So think about this, reflect on these things, you know. It's always, it's not about what is God going to give me, but what is that God wants from me. This is a question I need to always ask in my life, you know, always. You know, God is always there to fulfill his responsibility as a father, as a mother, as a companion, as a friend, as a guru, as a teacher. He's always there for me. But am I there for God always? Am I listening to him? Am I learning what he's giving me? Am I doing what he's asking me to do? And am I cleansing myself? Another beautiful role of God is purifier. He purifies. That's what it is. Giving my rubbish means he's there to always clean me, keep me pure. Right? And so reflect on this. It's a most beautiful relationship and everlasting relationship, and a relationship that you can always trust. God will never cheat or never will say, I don't have time for you. Anytime I can go to him and I can experience him. Right? But he's there. Am I there for God? Am I there to give a finger of cooperation? Do you think God wants to just keep this dark age or, you know, the world, whatever is going on in the world this way? Or do you think God wants to cleanse this world? Does he want to cleanse? Definitely. He's the benefactor. He definitely wants to transform us and the world. But if we don't cooperate with God, that's my homework. So what is my homework? I need to give my rubbish to him. I need to cleanse myself, my burdens, stay carefree, remember him, listen to him, you know, do my homework, what he's telling me to do, and give my finger of cooperation in the new world that he's creating now. God has come to create the new world for us because this world is gone almost. It's completely old. Yeah? And so God is creating this new tree, a new sapling, a new world for us. And so am I ready to do what God wants me to do? So at this point, I pause and do reflect on this so that I can also fulfill a relationship with my divine parent, the divine source. Om Shanti. So, any comments you have? Anything you want to share? No, you're content? That is good. That is good. Anybody have any nice, beautiful experience of God that you want to share? Anything that comes to your heart, you know, when you think of God, your feelings or your experience.
Peace. That's what I feel. That's very peace.
You feel very peaceful connecting to God.
Especially when I come here. Meditation.
Yeah. So I'm not sure who is on this iPhone, but yeah, excellent realization that God wants our rubbish. That's true. Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
rubbish is what you said yesterday, the wire that you remove the
Insulation, yes.
Insulation.
Your body consciousness. Rubbish is your body consciousness. As I said, algae, your lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego, your jealousy, your competitive nature, your sensitive nature, all these are rubbish.
playing with the businessman, this, that.
Yes.
Right. Right.
All of that, yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we take a few moments of silence and we close? And thank you all for being on this in this evening, for all of us to be together this way and have these, good realizations or insights that opens our intellect. So let us take a moment of silence, because God likes to connect to Him in silence. Om Shanti.